What country do you believe has the most stylish dressing sense? Definitely Japan. Oversized silhouettes, clean lines, understated color palettes. Even the elderly wear stuff with an interesting or asymmetrical fit. Everybody looks good. Shoes shine, clothes ironed, hair done. I will say that outside of fashion-forward cities like Tokyo and Osaka, the uniformity of it all became a bit much for me as a European. I wore a red short-sleeved shirt once and stuck out like a sore thumb, since nobody wears bright colors and women rarely show their arms. I also noticed a slight difference in attitude when I didn't fully dry my hair or wear makeup. Japan, Italy, France maybe. USA too. But only if you pick out the best examples. On average, not so much. Considering they're already the plastic surgery capital of the world, meaning they're obsessed with looks and employers criticize you based on look. But I don't really see much media from that country. Japan hands down. Not only are they stylish with their formal wear, but they rock the subcultures better than Americans. Taiwan comes second, in my opinion. They copy Japan, but are a bit more casual in a good way. South Korea is fairly boring, and they all wear the same black overcoats. Not a fan. Italy is okay, but they all kind of dress the same. I'm giving an honorable mention to the Gulf nations Saudi, UAE, Qatar, Oman. When you are in a mall, for example, surrounded by hundreds of people in thobes and abayas, you quickly notice they are not all the same. They are very formal, very stylish, and very well thought out. They clearly made an effort. As a collective, I would say Japan. When I had visited, I swear every person in all walks of life, from young to old to professional to casual, was considerate of their appearance. I believe other countries may have a more obvious sense of style, but Japan takes the cake for me. I used to date a French person. I'm from the UK, and he said that British people don't care about being ugly, all they care about is being cool. Therefore, I'd have to say the UK, though I think he was generally talking about the club kid rather than the scally shove look. Looking at all the Indian immigrants that live in my area, I'd say India. There are so many shops around my apartment for people to go choose their fabrics and buy bespoke handmade clothes. In Western cultures, we really only see this for wealthy people anymore. Realistically, it's probably places like the UK, Australia, etc., particularly urban areas. Quite consumerist societies, and people are often vain or want to keep up with trends. Most Europeans dress terribly. Germans probably the best dressed in my experience. New Zealand, be it barefoot or in jandals, flip-flops, with stubby short shorts or jeans and a singlet, or an otherwise black band t-shirt. Impeccable attire for all occasions, to the workplace, to the ball, to the cinema, or the mall. Italy, when it comes to art, doesn't matter whether it's architecture, food making, fashion, cars, etc. Italians are rarely beaten. They brought culture to the whole Western world, and it's unrivaled for the most part by anywhere else. As someone who lives in a pretty rural Canadian town, it was always the Arabic exchange students who dressed the nicest ... They also smelled the worst, not because of beau, but because they marinated themselves in cologne. I'm from NYC. We don't dress bad here at all, but when I went to Italy I suddenly felt self-conscious. Like, oh shit, I got to step my game up. Shorts, ill-fitting clothes, ugly shoes were all no-go. Italy, they dress to impress without going too far. They don't wear pajamas outside, and they don't wear streetwear too much. They also have diversity of hairstyles to go with the solid fashion sense. Hate grey and beige and creases and ties and slacks and all that, so let's go with India, whose people largely wear the exact opposite in my mind. Honestly, any of the rich Arabic countries. Say what you will about religious mandates on clothing, but those ladies are stylish af. Italy, hands down. But you cannot beat the sophisticated, clean look of Japanese and South Korean streetwear. It's really something. Well, I felt like some kind of escaped mental patient for how I looked in Italy, South Korea, and Japan. So I'm going with them. NC, as a Kiwi, there's nothing quite as fashionable as seeing people go out on the town in gumboots, stubbies and polar fleece. Some African countries are developing a creative and distinct style in both men and women's fashion. Ghana springs to mind. Malaysia, best of both worlds, since the culture is such a mix, affected their dress sense as well. Then Japan and Italy. Sweden and Denmark, no comparison. What you see there on the streets is fashionable everywhere a couple of years later. Singapore, I wore a collared polo shirt, cargo shorts, and nice sneakers on the subway and felt entirely underdressed. Don't everyone dress the same? There will certainly be various fashions and outfits, but in general it is the same. When I was in Iceland, a lot of the women wore outfits that wouldn't make it to Europe for the next 12-24 months. West African men have some wild styles, I could never get away with it, but man are they colourful and cool. Italia, they have a true sense of style, an effortless coolness. It's an attitude, a way of life. Redditors really think everyone in either France or Italy wears their Sunday best all the time. For women and men together, Netherlands. For women only Russia. For men only France. Bangladesh. Vietnam. India. Italy. Turkey. Germany. United States. Israel. Walk around Tel Aviv and you'll see unique and bizarre in a good way outfits. Of the places I've been, Japan, South Korea, and Italy got that drip all day. There's actually a place in England called Grimsby. It lives up to its name. I'd say Italy, because who else could make eating spaghetti look so chic? My fiancé tells me that even houseless people in France are well dressed. Poland is a sleeper entry into this list for perfect business casual. London, I visited last month and found their fashion sense charming. Austria, specifically people in Vienna, everyone was well dressed. Sweden, Finland for men and women, and Ukraine, Russia for women. West African countries, Ghana and China, Japan, South Korea, probably the Italians. Even the older guys dress very well. Italy, Northern England, France, US, NYC and vicinity. The US is a melting pot of fashion influences, no doubt. France or Italy, they're very chic without being OTT. I thought Latvia and Estonia were both quite stylish. Greece, for one reason, the stain souvlaki shirts.